Hello guys, this is Oblivion Studios and today we're going to show you how to make a 2D top-down shooter. Now let's get started. Now go in the link in the description and you can get these assets that we're going to use for the project. Make sure to download the one that says top-down survivor. Once you get that extracted and dragged into Unity, you have a folder here. Now we're going to go into the folder. We're going to go to handgun, idle. We're going to switch these, select all of them. Just hold shift and when you click, hold shift and click all the way to the bottom. So you select them all. Then we're going to go to textures type. I'm going to click sprite 2D UI. And I already did this from the beginning, so don't get confused there. And from there, we're going to create a empty object. We're going to call this player. We're going to select all these again. And we're going to drag it into player. Now it would bring up this thing that says animations. We're going to create an animations, but we're going to change the folders directory. Now go to assets. And we're going to create a new folder in here called animations. I'm going to click on it and we're going to call it handgun. Idle. Alright, save that. Now we're gonna go to the camera. We're gonna make it a solid color. We're gonna make it more like a green darkish color so it can represent grass. Now from here we're gonna create a new folder. We're gonna call it scripts. I'm going to create the movement script. Now go to inside the script folder. I'm going to click create C# script. I'm going to put movement. We're going to open that up in Visual Studios. It takes a while or not. We're just going to wait for that to and from there we're gonna create a public float. Public float speed. And then we're gonna get the we're gonna do another variable. We're gonna put private, spell that wrong, private rigid body 2D. I'm gonna call it RB. From that, we're gonna make another one, another private variable. We'll call it vector2 move velocity. From there, we're gonna go to the start function. We're gonna put RB equals get component rigid body rigid body 2D. Close that with the semicolon in the end. And then we're going to go to the update. We're going to call vector 2 move input equals new vector input dot get axis horizontal print quotations, and we're going to put horizontal. I think that's how I spelled it. Just making sure. Yeah, right. That's how I spell horizontal. And then we're going to put input dot get access. Same thing. Quotations and then vertical. And then semicolon in the end. And this is movement for the player. And essentially what this does is if you move to the left or you move to the right, this would make a variable of either -1 or +1, which will direct which way you're going. A -1 you'll head left, and a +1 you'll go forward. So it already establishes a it establishes a input system using this. Now let's put move velocity equals move input dot normalized times speed. There you go. And what essentially this is doing, we're getting the number of whatever let's because we're getting -1 and negative and 1 for moving from horizontal or vertical. And this essentially does is gets the number, normalize it, and pretty much it gets the number, times it by its speed, and then we get whatever speed we set for whatever number we have. Now we're gonna create a new update, which is void update, void fix update. Just gonna take out private and from the front. And what essentially what this does is makes it so it could only run a certain amount of frames. This one runs every single frames. That's the difference between update and fix update. So we're gonna get RB dot move position parentheses RB dot position plus move velocity times time dot delta time. And we're gonna put that. So what this does is we get the movement of the position of where we are. We times it, or we add whatever we have, which we get this, which we get the movement of the number, and we times it by the speed or whatever value we gave into for the speed. And we're doing this with every frame that we're using time delta time to have it moving in every frame instead of being all framey. Now we're gonna save that, and then we're gonna minimize this. We're gonna get our player, drag that script inside of it. Okay, we're gonna get player. We're gonna drag the script inside of it, and we're gonna put the speed. I'm just gonna put 5, and to make sure we and to see this in action, just press play, and you'll be able to. Oh, I forgot. We have to add a rigid body 2D, and from there it should work. There you go. Just gonna change that to that. Okay, so but essentially why it was doing this, as you can see, it was moving slowly down each time, and that was because we didn't change this to kinetic instead of kinematic, instead of dymatic. So once we do that, put kinematic, and then run this again, and this problem should not happen, and we'll be able to run smoothly in a movement script just like that. And that's all for part 1, and hope you guys could see the other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.